This is a live Channels Television event.
While we are still standing, ladies and gentlemen, may I humbly invite His Grace, the Most Reverend Alexander Ibezim, DHQ, the Archbishop, Province of the Niger, and the Bishop of Oka for the opening prayer.
The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Our mighty Father, it is by your grace that we are witnesses to what is happening this morning. We want to especially thank you for Anambra State. We thank you for our beloved governor, Governor William. Thank you, Lord, for all the government officials, the deputy governor, the commissioners, the members of the House, and all those special assistants, those that have been helping to move Anambra State forward. Blessed be to your name for their lives in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. We thank you, Lord, for the traditional rulers. We thank you for the judiciary. We thank you for every arm of our government, for the military, for the police, and for other servicemen. We glorify you, Lord, for the security that is in our state. We thank you for the mighty things you are doing. Even in the midst of economic difficulty, you did not fail our state. You did not allow the state to be put to shame. In spite of difficulties here and there, all over the world, where there are trouble here and there, you have made us to be a peculiar state. And so, Father, we say thank you. Today, businessmen from so many sectors of the society that are gathered here, Father, please, we are asking for your help and your support. I pray for the governor that you give him wisdom, so that as he continues to lead this state, he will lead with fabrics of achievement. He will lead with tangible vision. He will lead with accomplishment. Father, I speak to Anambra State. Anambra State will grow from strength to strength. Anambra State will not die. Anambra State will survive. There will be economic buoyancy in this state. There will be political achievements. There will be spiritual achievements. So I prophesy life to Anambra State. This state shall live again. The citizens of this state shall live again. And so, Lord, take control of this summit. As we have all gathered, that at the end of this summit, each and every one of your people that are gathered here, we go home with a tangible, realizable vision. So that by the time the year 2019 comes to an end, we will all have a reason to praise the name of the Lord. And so I pray that 2020 will be a great year for Anambra State in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. It will also be a great year for our country, Nigeria. In Nigeria today, there are many things that calls for attention. Oh Lord, save our nation. Save Anambra State. Save our governor. And save every citizen of this state, so that from strength to strength we shall all rejoice together. Thank you for answering our prayers. And for the people that have put up this particular occasion, oh Lord, may you bless them abundantly. Thank you for answering our prayers. In the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Kola nuts. Okay, the chairman of ANSEPA, our host, has brought kola nut. You know, this is
Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Nkemo Keke, the Speaker, Anambra State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Uche Okafor, all my ESCO members that are here present, the National Chairman of our great party, APGA, Ozombu Victoria, the distinguished Senator of APGA Stock, Senator Victor Ume, the head of traditional institutions in Southeast, including Anambra, and Chancellor Ahmadu Bello University, Igwe Achebe, the other royal fathers that are here. I want to specially recognize the Archbishop Ibezim, the Archbishop of the Niger, and Bishop of Oka, Anglican Communion. I'll specially recognize too the guy behind all this event, the managing director, the chairman of Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, Mr. Ike Chioke, and his team that are here. If you don't mind, I would like to rest on the protocol earlier established by the Comper. On behalf of the beloved people of Anambra State, I welcome you to the third edition of Anambra Business and Investment Roundtable. The first edition of this initiative took place on the eve of my second term inauguration. This effort is a consolidation of that maiden outing, as well as the second edition, which held in the United States in the month of September this year. But it is actually much more than that. This is a game changer. Coming on the heels of the inauguration of the 50-year Development Plan Committee, I also want to recognize Professor Soludo. He is the chairman of Anambra Vision 2070. Coming on the heels of the inauguration of the 50-year Development Plan, this edition of Anambra Business and Investment Roundtable couldn't have been better timed. The theme of this event is Beyond Infrastructure, Rethinking the Future. It is perfectly aligned to the core philosophy behind the 50-year development plan. In fact, this effort shines a torchlight on the part of the 50-year development plan must take to bring us within a touching distance of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, to get to the point where we are now, boldly contemplate the future, my team and I set forth at dawn with clear, defined vision and mission statements. We had declared that our vision was to make Anambra the first choice investment destination and a hub for economic and commercial activity. And we also declared that our mission is to create a socially stable, business-friendly environment where indigenous and non-indigenous alike will have opportunity for wealth creation. These two statements are the ignition to the engine of my economic blueprint, which is made up of 6 pillars and 14 enablers. The pillars include agriculture, industrialization, trade and commerce, oil and gas, and creative economy and logistics. The pillars are supported by key enablers like security, education, health, roads and bridges, the environment, social infrastructure, and others. I made security my #1 enabler for obvious reasons. From the darkness to light. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone who is familiar with Anambra State will easily remember how long history of insecurity. So when I assumed office, I realized that security was the key to everything we want to achieve. I was certain that if we didn't get security right, everything else will go wrong. Our first step was to organize Nigeria's first international security conference and hired an Israeli security expert to facilitate this. The immediate outcome of that idea is the famous Anambra security architecture. Our security blueprint has evolved through a number of phases and has now become the Anambra Smart City Surveillance System, or Operation Pt.2. What we have done is quite simple. We merely sought to give shape to form a creed by Adolphus Hollex, who says, and I quote, "External vigilance is not only the price of liberty, eternal vigilance is the price of human decency," unquote. Outcome. The overall outcome of our campaign against insecurity is that Anambra State has been declared Nigeria's safest state. We have endeared social harmony in the state. Anambra now has a thriving social circuit that sparkles with life every weekend. We have created a 24-hour economy and social activities are in full swing all year round. But the greatest achievement remains the inflow of investments into the state. We have created a huge agro-economy. The leisure and hospitality industry has picked up gradually. The SME sector looks promising, and we are beginning to see the gradual emergence of a middle-class economy in Anambra State. The crown jewel of our industrializing effort is the commissioning of the multi-million naira fully automated Coscarix rice mill in Ibariam in September this year, Josan integrated rice farm late last year, and Linden's integrated poultry farms 2 years earlier. And also, they're all doing very well. Our enviable status as Nigeria's safest state was confirmed last month when I was honored by the Nigerian Police Force with the award of the best governor in Nigeria in supporting security architecture. I have also been honored by Security Watch Africa as a security icon in governance in West Africa by an outfit operating out of Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, I have spent some time on security because it is important to assure you that the Anambra is safe and secure enough for your investments. You can count on us. Inviting the future. Fellow compatriots, we have come to the intersection where technology is the constant negotiating and artificial intelligence. We are at the interchange where our children must break away from the culture of sitting back to absorb change, to standing up to induce change. Happily, Anambra State has shown unmistakable readiness to lead this charge on our own terms. While Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Limited in Newi have demonstrated what we can do in the manufacturing sector, the 5 schoolgirls from Regina Patches Secondary School on Onitsha, who won gold at the World Technovation Contest in Silicon Valley, have announced the Anambra Promise in Innovation. This promise was further affirmed in March this year when our 4 boys from St. John's Science and Technical College, Alo, won the bronze medal at the International Festival of Engineering, Science and Technology in Tunisia. The boys won bronze with an innovation they called Adaptable Alternative Power Supply for Sub-Saharan Africa. The emerging scenario here indicates a great deal of improvement in the quality of education in public schools in Anambra State. It is instructive to note that the school children who are making all this history are all products of the ongoing reforms in our public schools. We are investing heavily in our schools and technical education. We are investing in the training and retraining of teachers. We began this trend in 2015 when we sent 23 teachers to Singapore to learn the global best practice in vocational education. Alexander the Great, the king of the ancient Greek kingdom of Macedonia, once said, and I quote, "I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well," unquote. This quote aptly underscores the importance of quality teachers to any progressive society. It is a quote we have taken to heart in Anambra State. That is why our teachers have been winning national honors. Last month, for example, Anambra swept the 4 awards at the President's Teachers and Schools Excellence Award in Abuja. Healthcare delivery. Indeed, no meaningful progress can be made in forward-looking society without a superb healthcare delivery sector. A healthy nation is a wealthy nation. My administration has prioritized healthcare in Anambra State. In line with this thinking, I recently commissioned the ultra-modern Immaculate Heart Multi-Specialist Hospital and the oxygen plant in the state. These 2 investments have given us a lot of elbow room to address healthcare delivery in the state. Similarly, our establishment of Anambra Primary Healthcare Agency has proven to be nothing short of revolutionary. The same thing applies to Anambra State Health Insurance Agency, ASHIA, which has made quality healthcare system and affordable to a greater number of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, the story does not end with education and healthcare delivery. We have also paid close attention to digital entrepreneurship and creative industry. In April last year, we inaugurated the Youth Empowerment and Creative Economic Council with a view to unlocking the creative potential of Anambra youths in a manner that will address unemployment more decisively. We are also seriously considering the prospects of building a film village to bring Nollywood back to its original roots. All these initiatives will offer Anambra youths a clear competitive advantage and place them in a pole position to lead the future comfortably. Ladies and gentlemen, Anambra State is fully aware that the indices of measuring development in the near future will no longer be essentially about physical infrastructure, but about the quality of the human capital. The human intellect and the quality of human thought will soon become the differentiator between societies. And the only link between today and the dispensation is quality education created by quality teachers in quality schools. Our society missed out on all the stages of industrial revolution up to the present ICT revolution. We cannot afford to miss out on the exploding dispensation of nanotechnology and artificial intelligence. That is why I'm happy with the choice of Dr. Leo Staneke as the keynote speaker of this event. It is on this note that I welcome you all once again to Anambra State, the light of the nation. Nana, thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together for the Governor of Anambra State. I want to crave your indulgence. You're going to see a documentary on Anambra developmental strides. By the way, this is an abridged one. It's a short version. Thank
you. It is no longer contestable that the governor of Anambra State, Chief Willie Obiano, has changed the story of Anambra State in the past 5 years. It does not matter whichever angle one looks at it. The verdict is the same. No objective assessment of Governor Willie Obiano's journey in office can be done without first understanding his promise to Anambra. It is this promise that binds him to the people that he swore to serve.
I came very prepared. I came with a very clear vision for Anambra. I want Anambra to be first choice investment destination and a hub for economic and commercial activity. The mission is very clear in my mind, and that's why we go to work every day, to create a socially stable, business-friendly environment where indigents and non-indigents alike will have opportunity for wealth creation. It is this vision and mission that we put together to get our blueprint. And from our blueprint, we now developed 14 enablers and 6 pillars. And these pillars are agriculture, trade and commerce, oil and gas, industrialization, logistics, and creative economy. Enablers are enablers because they are not an end in themselves. They are a means to an end. Security is number one enabler. Without security, you're not going to achieve anything, you know. And you can see, because of the seriousness we have attached to it, we put our mouth where our money is. You know, I've invested millions of naira into security. So we remain strong on security, and I can assure you that that will go a long way in helping us deliver on the high GDP, on shelter, on jobs, on social responsibility, on increased food production, on capital inflow, on modernizations, and on the exports. Before I came in 2014, Anambra GDP was below $1,000 per capita. Today, we are $2,300 per capita. That's where we are now. But let me tell you, I'm going to finish very strongly, you know, in the coming 2 years plus, you know, because we've lined up a lot of activities, and it's clear in my mind how we're going to achieve that.
The key to the realization of Governor Obiano's economic blueprint is security. He realized from the beginning that no meaningful effort could be made to develop Anambra State without first fixing the timeless security headache of the state. So, he flew in a renowned Israeli security expert known as Moshe Kainen to headline Nigeria's first international security summit. The outcome of this summit is the famous Obiano security architecture and its operative arm known as Operation Ochapo, a joint task force made up of the police, the army, the navy, civil defense, and the NDLEA. It pulled down houses used by kidnappers as holding cells for their victim, rounded up violent criminals in large numbers. The task force also launched series of flights by police helicopters into Anambra skies to spot imminent dangers from locations beyond the easy reach of human eye. Governor Obiano also rolled out 25 American-style smart cars and gunboat for the Navy to patrol the waterways. The recent launch of Operation Ochapu 2 makes a strong case for a higher recognition. This is because Operation Ochapu 2 marks the smooth migration of Anambra's security architecture from the usual brick and mortar backbone to a much more sophisticated and digital security superstructure that runs on the latest information and communication technology.
I'm surprised with the level of equipment I've seen in this state rolled out by the governor. But what I've seen is beyond imagination. What I've seen is a total package for security. It should be noted that it is not the first of such donation made by Your Excellency, and as such we encourage other governors in this country to emulate you.
One of the important institutions of the Obiano administration, which has changed the narrative of Anambra State, is the Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, ANSIPA. This agency has attracted many investors to Anambra State, from Josan Rice Farms in Ufuma and Umumbo to Linden Integrated Farms, Ibariam, Koscharis Farms, Anako, Koscharis Rice Mills, Ibariam, Stanel World, Golden Tulip Hotel, and a handful of other businesses that are flourishing across the state.
We key in very seriously to His Excellency's blueprint in terms of the pillars that we believe will drive Anambra economy, which includes agriculture, trade and commerce, logistics, the creative industry. All this is tied into an economic blueprint, and we essentially expedite and facilitate this for the state and for its investors.
The number one pillar of Governor Obiano's economic blueprint is agriculture. The government went into partnerships with major agro-investors in the agro-allied sector. Rice production has been aggressive in the past few years, with Koscharis Farms and Josan Farms running fully integrated agricultural enterprises that ensures a full-cycle production of rice from the farm straight to the milling plant and then to the wholesale market. The recent opening of the fully automated Koscharis Rice Farms drew the attention of the entire agricultural establishment in Nigeria to Anambra State.
Before he came in 2014, the rice production was at a very low ebb of about 80,000 metric tons, but presently we are doing 345,000 metric tons with hope, after the season, to get to 400,000 metric tons in the rice, and they were doing well in maize as well as yam production too.
Iden Farms has continued to pull a massive weight in the livestock sector as the largest poultry farm in southern Nigeria. Meanwhile, Eagle Farms in Umuchu is blazing the trail in the commercial rearing of Efibo, which has been widely applauded by the people. Orca-based Graphil Nigeria Limited has been exporting vegetables from Anambra to the U.S. for quite some time now.
2015, that's when we began to explore the opportunities there are. Following the concerted efforts of our governor, Dr. Willie Obiano, to encourage agricultural activity, particularly export of vegetables. Yes, so Anambra State certainly under Willie Obiano, has done so much to encourage the export of agri products.
Governor Willie Abrochukwu Obiano proved that he is a great leader when he took advantage of the euphoria generated by the 5 Anambra schoolgirls who won the gold medal at the World Technovation Challenge in San Francisco, USA, to lay a solid foundation for Anambra's innovation dream. The full range of the state's offerings was recently on display at the Anambra Creativity Festival in Awka.
We want to be able to make these students to use their hands properly. We want the equipment to be used. We want teachers to use them and teach the students. We want beyond that to be able to produce commodities that we can sell. Therefore, you see our students producing nuts, for vehicles. We see them in catering craft, doing cakes, doing chin-chin. In material engineering, you see them producing perfumes, liquid soaps, and so all this like that. Welding and fabrication, you see them producing hangers. You see them producing iron beds, iron chairs. You see them making paints, because we have painting and decorating. If you go to GTC Umuchu, you are very good in block molding and brick laying.
When the Obiano administration started, the governor made it very clear that he was going to build roads and construct bridges that have economic importance. By this declaration, he meant that he would give priority attention to roads and bridges that lead to industrial clusters, agricultural belts, the oil fields, and commercial centers. So far, the 3 flyovers in Oka and Amobia and other bridges like the Nengo River Bridge, the Iowa Bridge, the Ebenebe Amansi Bridge, the Umueje Bridge, as well as the Kisa River Bridge in Omonia, the SARS Okozo Abu Benando Bridge, Ndukwenu Awa Ufuma Bridge, and the Ezira Umuomaku Enugu Monya Bridge are outstanding legacies of the Obiano administration in terms of bridges. However, the 280 meters long Aguleri Otu Bridge that leads to the oil fields of Anambra State stands out as the longest bridge in southeast Nigeria, an administration that is committed to changing the story of Anambra State.
When he entered, he inherited about 96 number of roads, and he promised Anambra people that he's going to continue from where the last administration stopped, and he's going to award new ones. And that's exactly what he has been doing. And in awarding this road, he made sure that these roads are evenly distributed among the 3 senatorial zones. And equally, he takes into consideration the no-go areas. The communities in Anambra that are not seeing third roads.
The Obiano administration has brought some improvement in power supply to Anambra. From Oji River in Enugu State, the administration ensured the installation of a 33 kV line to supply power to Orumba North and South.
His Excellency has installed about 300 transformer substations to various communities in the state, has also distributed about 400 transformers to different communities as well. His Excellency has also done a lot on that transmission. The extension of that 3 kV line from Agwaka to Aguleri, the extension of that 3 kV line from Oji River injection substation to Orumba North and South, that benefited about 31 communities. Then the big one, His Excellency just signed a mega MOU with TCN, the transmission company of Nigeria, to do a mega 2x60 MVA substation at Oba, at Onitsha, at Nnewi, at Aguleri, then Umuchu and Ekulobia. And also to complete the 60 MV substation at Dunukofia. And then to build a massive 2x150 MVA substation at Oka here. They will all be linked by 132 kV transmission lines. And when this project is completed, there's going to be like a power ring around the state. So any part of the state you can draw power, good power.
When Chief Willie Obiano assumed the mantle of leadership of Anambra State, he identified housing as one of the areas of focus of his government to propel the state to the next level, delivering quality, affordable, and sustainable housing to its people, with a mission to establish a sustainable system for Anambra in a serene environment that will foster productivity and socio-economic advantage.
His Excellency Chief Dr. Willie Obiano's strategic blueprint specifically mandates the Minister of Housing to endeavor to close the gap on the housing shortages in the state by producing at least 10,000 housing units per year. This ministry, within the past 5.5 years of his administration, had made some strides in that direction. There is, first and foremost, the Millennium City, which is touted as the #1 precinct that we have proposed for Awka Capital Territory. I'm happy to announce that we have MP Infrastructure partnering with the state government to produce high-end residential estate there. We have FAB, who, by the way, most people should know, do a lot of developments in Abuja, was attracted under this Akuron initiative that His Excellency calls on the Anambra to partake in by UNIZIC. The attempt was to also create a university town as we do overseas, and that attempt is growing. The business is still ripe, and so we invite people to come and invest. After all, His Excellency has made it very possible for these things to happen.
The whole thing reflects the character of the governor, which is that he believes so much in planning. He believes so much that if he has a dream and has a plan and gets a great team, that he will make it happen. Of course, doing more with less. Remember, he doesn't really like spending money. Background, banker, he knows the value of money. But he knows the value of having a direction and putting resources toward that direction and monitoring that you deliver. So what he did was he inaugurated a committee for the Vision 2070 of Anambra State. Basically, he says, I want to do that thing I did for 8 years. I want us to help the state do it for 50 years. So where will Anambra be in 50 years? So over time, what are the things we must do? And he appointed a great team. In my opinion, that will be a marking script for governments in future. Marking script for anyone that wants to become governor. Because the people will say, so which part of this, our story, are you going to make happen for us? That's one legacy that he's leaving.
Indeed, Governor Obiano is yet another impressive chapter in the narrative of a leader who is constantly searching for solutions to the numerous developmental challenges of his people. But it is also a timely advice to political leaders of most developing societies that sometimes the search for foreign investment may not be half as useful as the search for innovation, ideas, and solutions to our developmental challenges. In fact, in most cases, it may be all that we ever need from the West.
I don't know if that round of applause is enough. Were you people clapping for me or for the... Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for... Now, when we say Willie is walking, at least some of you will appreciate why we say it. Ladies and gentlemen, to give us a further expose to tell us why we are here, for the roundtable objectives, the program, I want to invite the chairman of ANSEPA, the Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, Ike Chioke, to give us the roundtable objectives and the briefing. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my traditional rulers here present, the members of the clergy, the delegates, the panelists, and of course our keynote speaker, Mr. Leo Staneke. I welcome you once again to this third edition of the Anambra State Anambra Business Roundtable. You've seen this short video of the eminent and enviable accomplishments of His Excellency Governor Willie Obiano. It speaks testament to a vision laid out, a mission planned out, and real developmental strides executed beautifully. And once again, I would like you to give him a round of applause. This roundtable has come up with a theme beyond infrastructure, rethinking the future. Let me share with you some troubling statistics. Nigeria today has a population of 200 million, and we are growing at nearly 3% per annum. At the rate of growth, by year 2050, we'll be approaching a population of 400 million people. Anambra currently is about 4 to 5 million people. In that same window, it will be well over 10 million people. With this limited landmass, we must ask ourselves, how do we create the employment opportunity, the economic opportunity to support the youth? And they are crying for help today. And that is why, in thinking about this, the theme for this roundtable, it was appropriate to think about the human capital that we are bringing out. It's not just the numbers that matter, it is the quality of those human beings that matter. So we're starting the roundtable with thinking about what we're doing in education and healthcare. And then beyond that, we go into ICT and the creative industry. Today, Nollywood is well recognized as a major economic force in Nigeria. Indeed, Nollywood needs to find domestication, and none of the southeastern states have taken that opportunity to home, and this is what His Excellency Governor Obiano wants to do. We can domesticate it and create the enabling infrastructure for pre-production and post-production of outstanding movies and documentaries that will rank with any in the world, and begin to further reinforce the opportunity for job creation. And then, so the second panel for the day will be a panel on ICT and the creative industry. So information, communications, and technology. And that actually works in well with the quality of human capital. In the afternoon, we talk about tourism and hospitality. The travel industry is perhaps the largest employer of labor, and Anambra is blessed with beautiful natural sites and tourist destinations. So how do we further reinforce what we have? Because when you build a hotel and build a conference center and build the restaurants and the attractions, people can get employed right in their villages. We have the outstanding Golden Tulip Agulu Lake Hotel, which I saw as a construction site 2 years ago, but I'm delighted to be staying there for this event, and it's a very beautiful edifice indeed. And thank you again, Your Excellency, for that vision. And then we'll close. We'll close the roundtable with a discussion on real hardcore infrastructure and the housing sector. So the way we worked on this roundtable is to think of it as a computer. There's a hardware, which is a solid box you see around you, but there's a software, which is the intelligence inside. And this is really how the governor is thinking, that while building on the hard infrastructure, which you've seen in the short video, you must not forget the software. And those are the human beings that will use those facilities, maintain them, and even build them onto further capacity in the years ahead. So on behalf of all the board members of ANSIPA, the governing council, my colleagues from ANSIPA, the managing director, Jide Kako and his team, I want to welcome you once again on behalf of the Anambra State to this roundtable. I wish you a very excellent discussion. Thank you very much.
Yeah, put your hands together for him. Thank you. Okay. I just want to crave the indulgence of His Excellency. We have somebody from the National Assembly here, and it's important I recognize him too. I'm talking about the honorable member representing the people of Anambra East and West, Chief Chinedu Benjamin Obidigwe. I welcome you. I welcome you. Honorable Okechukwu Okoye, the Chairman House Committee on Information, is here too. We have the Commissioner for Women and Children Affairs, Lady Ndidi Mezwe, is here too. And the Chairman of Anambra State Revenue Board, Dr. Nzeku. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to crave your indulgence now. Let's listen to our keynote speaker, a man with a big name, a man everybody knows here. I want to invite to the microphone Dr. Leo Stan Eke, founder, chairman group, for his address, Doing Business in the 21st Century. You're welcome, sir.
The sun is right here. The Executive Governor of Anambra State, Chief Dr. Willie Obiano, the Bureau of Furniture, His Grace, please, ladies and gentlemen, the politicians here, let me stand on existing protocol. When is an economic summit? You save time. I'm here, I'm sure a lot of you know I'm an Igbo man from Imo State. And I consider this a privilege to speak to not only Anambra people, but Nigerians here. At the final chapter of your age, you start educating the younger ones. So the topic is very interesting to me. Doing business in 21st century. Well, my story is a clear manifestation of what God can do with people. If you had my logo here, 20 years ago, the Zionist logo says, anticipate the future. And I had my head thinking. Unfortunately, it's not online. I speak extempore because I don't have time to prepare speeches. So I'm not a lecturer. I'm an African third world entrepreneur. And this was clear for me from birth. And I decided to be in disruption. And the only way I can do disruption without Godfather is technology. So this is what I've done all my life. But why am I in Anambra State? First, your national anthem, I don't think a lot of you play it. Your national anthem, I didn't understand any word in it, but it inspires you like children crying for a certified tomorrow. Play that in early in the morning and see how it will stimulate you to act. 2, Anambra has the capacity, the global capacity, to alter the destiny of Nigerians. You have everything. You have people with energy. You have the brilliant, most concentrated, brilliant souls in Africa, in one region, in one state. You have, with due respect, knowledge. The third reason I'm here is that the life itself has become a code. You need to interpret your DNA to know how far you can go in life. So that's why I'm here. Very simple. I'm very, very impressed with what he has done. So he's gone halfway. If God has given you the capacity, global capacity, to alter the destiny of a state, you are almost there. But you've gotten to a point where you have to be a born again. A born again, not on the spiritual realm, but you have to be totally across all platforms a born again. Because what made our parents rich cannot make us rich in 24th century. Anambra people were very relevant last century. Anambra people are reasonably relevant in the first quarter of this century, which ends in the next 5 years. But will you be relevant in the second quarter of this century? I think that's why you are here. The men and women I see here can't drive the next quarter of century. The competition is daring. The knowledge power is exhausting. But you can lay the foundation right now. So that's why I use myself as an emo man. And to tell you a joke, sorry, not a joke. When I come to the East, I go back to Lagos and depressed for 2 days. And when you take entrepreneur, you're depressed, everything in your brain is deleted. I see opportunities. I see men who can deliver it. And I'm here because your governor comes from a civilized country to come and rule you. So what is left? Knowledge. I said, what made you rich? Last century will never make you rich. And this is the only century God has certified and given the children of the poor opportunity to become world-class billionaires. But you need to clear the platforms. I sneaked into Onitsha 7 months ago and wore a jean and a t-shirt. I told the security guys, give me a distance. And I spent 2 hours in Onitsha. I observed the men. So much energy carrying, what do you call it, truck? Wheelbarrow.
Can you step back a little bit so the camera will get...
Okay, sorry. I saw a lot of young men, energetic, happy. I entered some stores, some warehouses. They thought I was coming to buy something. I indeed bought few things, but I dashed them out. I wanted to scale some of the rich men in Anambra, how prepared they are to transition. I was a little bit disappointed. So in 21st century, there are few businesses you go into, you never make $1 billion. And a small chap from the poorest home in Igbo land would delete you from the wealth list. This is the century we are in right now. So there are 2 things. Anambra people must decide, do I want to be an employer? Do I want to be an employee? Or do I want to be an idiot? These are the 3 schemes in 21st century. Is that how you're here? You're there? Yeah. And I'll give you an example. I lost a staff, a lady, a Yoruba lady, 2 months ago. That lady was on 75 million a year. She didn't go to any special university, Harvard, Oxford, nothing. But she had content. She could deliver. This is the century we are in. You can deliver, people must pay you, or they won't make money. So what stops Anambra from creating the biggest state in Africa? You have everything. This is why we are now thinking. When you read about Nigerians, Americans, Chinese, and some Africans delivering wealth, I'll give you a good example. When I bought Conga last year, January last year, Conga, it's not the money I paid, but 6 months after, a South African company, NASPAS, sold it to me. NASPAS invested $32 million in 10 cents, China, e-commerce. After they sold the company to me, They sold 2% of their equity in 10 cents for $9.8 billion. What is the total net value of Nigeria? Last Friday, the 28% of NASPAS is worth $133 billion. Any person with $133 billion will buy all the states in Nigeria, buy the all the African countries, if he's ready to contend with the problems. So this is the century. So we all have opportunities. The government is trying. I woke up at this hotel today, Golden Tulip. Thanks for those who put me in. You can imagine looking through your window during Harmattan. That's God's gift to Anambra State. But what I saw is that that area, that zone should be declared a knowledge village, knowledge city. If you declare it a knowledge city, you develop coders. A medical doctor spent 7 years in a university. His first job, he's paid 150,000, 200,000 naira. A coder, I'm paying some of them 1.5 million a month. This is the situation today. And he's not done with the 1.5 million naira a month. German firms are hiring them from me. Canadians are hiring them from me. South Africans are hiring them from me. And they are not special kids. Some of them didn't read computer science. But they had a background that certified them as global citizens. This is the economy we are in. Not complicated. That's why I introduced myself as an Igbo man. So if the governor has created such facilities, you need to upgrade it. That's why I use the word born again. Born again is that you need to drop things that are not lifting you to the next generation. The children of today, when we went to school, it was a privilege to eat gari in the morning, gari in the afternoon, gari in the night. A lot of kids today, you give them breakfast, they don't want to eat. There's no Anambra chap I call out here. Which car would you want to drive? He'll tell you a Rolls Royce. That's the bishop level. They are smart kids. And the century is for them. But you need to give them the foundation to make this money. Wealth, the right. I've looked through your program. I don't want to talk to you about creative entertainment, but I want to tell you how to save on investment. The achievement, I watched it, the achievement of Anambra State on global scene. The young kids who won the award, I was part of it. I delivered the computers. I commissioned the computers. And I think Obionicha was there. That's doing something and doing it properly. Anambra, His Excellency could deploy the best road in Anambra, could deploy the best electricity, but he will not enter the global map. What takes you in 21st century is knowledge. But you have analog knowledge, you have digital knowledge. So today we are reading all the books. When I came back 32 years ago, I computerized all the newspapers in the country, including Africana FAB, the publishing house, Longman, Henneman, Advanced University Press, and all the rest of it. And all the newspapers in the country. You must anticipate the future. Because today people live longer. I'll give you an example of the health sector. After this conference, including the churches, I had an engagement. When I say born again, I had an engagement with the Roman Catholic Monsignor. And I told him, you need to alter your strategy. In 10 years, my son has no reason to come to church and spend 2 hours. He could take service online on a big screen. He asked me, what of communion? I said, during Ebola, the Reverend priest handed over the communion to us to take, isn't it? So fine. When there's disruption, you have to face the reality or you are delisted. Now that is happening in everything. Anambra people are known for commerce, transportation, industrialization. Things are changing. Are you using artificial intelligence, robotics? At what cost are you producing? For me to come to Anambra, you have to provide convenience, human capital that is cheaper for me to produce and compete in the global market. Because consumption has gone global. Last Friday, my son, who owns Konga, shipped 1,000 laptops to Dubai. But he's in Nigeria, and he imported it from America because he has an e-commerce platform. In the health sector, hello? In the health sector, the same crisis is there. In the last 40 years, I have no reason to see doctors because I've not been sick. I never had headache, I never had malaria, I never had catarrh. So I'm managing my health. But for the few that will go to the doctor, if he's smart, he'll go behind the door and Google you. So if he Googles Leo Stan, he knows I'm a rich man, he'll tell me, Stan, you have an emergency. First of all, he'll quarantine me to occupy his lounge, and he could put drip of ordinary water, and when I check out there, he say, I'm lucky, God is wonderful. He will charge me 75 million. My wife will be very happy to pay. So you need to build people with skills. By next April, my boy will deliver drug to the remotest area, genuine drug, no matter where we are in the world. This is e-commerce, the same trading you are doing. He has 154,000 merchants online selling. So the man here could deliver his good in Maiduguri without opening a shop in Maiduguri. This is the ecosystem. Somebody called me, Stan, how is Konga? 98% Yorubas. You take commercial decisions. Those guys are skilled. When I bought it, it was 99%. But they are qualified to be there. So this is where we're headed to. A lot of parents need to support the governor to build these platforms that are intelligent to uplift their children. People are hosting 20-story buildings. That is not wealth in 21st century. Property adds impetus to your wealth, but it cannot go beyond a particular point. Because you need to buy land, you need to get a contractor, you fight with him, he builds and all the rest of it. So the wealth of 21st century does not need a godfather. It's miracle wealth. If God says you will be, and you are committed, and you are in the platform, you become a multi-billionaire. When I did INEC, I knew nobody. They failed, I gave the technology, I deployed. The government paid me $200 million in 2 months. I brought in 17,747, 400 body. So everybody who registered here, I deployed it. I didn't go to any special school. I designed a smart card reader. This is where the world is headed to. So no person wants to know your father. So, Your Excellency, what I want to appeal to Anambra people, I want to keep to 30 minutes so that a lot of you can engage. The basis, the foundation of knowledge is education and quality education. You cannot teach what you don't know. And they also say half education is dangerous. This is the first time in the life of a man. I'm standing here, no person here knows my father, but I'm running the biggest ICT group in sub-Saharan Africa. I don't want to say Africa, 360 degrees. So I'm keeping about 2,500 brilliant kids who fight me intellectually. So I need to continue to upgrade to contain them. Your Excellency, you've done very well. You built a lot of schools. A lot of things I'm saying today, I'm not supposed to say publicly. We sit down the graph is very simple. Nothing complicated. Domestication is critical. You can create infrastructure, foreigners will come and use it and enslave your people. So you need to have enough quality human capital to drive your business. And I came from a background to challenge the status quo. And have I done it properly? Yes, I've done it. But we need those who will continue from where a person like me stopped and my team. Now, I didn't finish my Onitsha statement. I looked around and I said, I'll buy a place in Onitsha to change the business scenario. So I bought a place. I was just telling the Bay of Onitsha. Immediately they started doing the foundation. Some people appeared I should give them 5 million. They are locals. I said, I know the Bay of Onitsha. Those people have forgotten that they are the people I will employ, upgrade. Because in that center, I have 2 stories. And I spoke with a gentleman from this state, and I'm sure he's in this hall. I said, why are you setting everything? You can employ cheaper people here. I will hire them. I need them. If you have quality staff, it's a privilege for you to give them to me to help me drive my process. The world is changing very fast. So you talk about the health sector, entertainment is big money. Your Excellency, don't create cubicles because of deficiencies in our infrastructure. I've told you around the hotel, if you create a knowledge city, digital city, move everybody there because they are interconnected. That hotel will be fully booked. People like us will sneak in the evening, engage them, discuss with them, hire them, and move them out. They'll be cheaper. And those guys who are running the center will be making so much money. Nigeria population is huge, but where is the purchasing power? But for the parents, you need to also support the government. This is what I see in Igbo land. Every person believes the government should do it. I was a little bit touched. And few months ago, 2 months ago, the chairman of that Security Council just sent me a text. I thought he was here. He said, oh, Stan, I saw you on channels. One governor brought us together, selected about 30 of us. And in less than 1 hour, I can tell you he raised 5 billion. No person knows here. I wasn't in the newspaper for security. I pay regularly in Lagos. They don't beg me to pay. Property rates, security fee, because I could see action. You need to also bring any local government that does not have 5 billionaires. Something is wrong with that local government. Bring them in quietly. They need to help the educational system. Because part of the challenge of Anambra, if you look at their history, the big merchants didn't have the privilege of going to school. But you know, during our time, they had 80% common sense, 20% knowledge. In 21st century, our children have 80% knowledge, 20% common sense, and you don't blame them. Because some of them are taken to private schools in a car with security men. If you're in their position, why would you use their brain? Some of them are flying first class. A lot of us talking today didn't know how to use cutlery till the age of 28. And Your Excellency, added to this impetus is a finishing school when you declare that place a knowledge city. You build residentials, don't build complicated residential, 20-story building, decking. Build bungalows, you have land. So that in 6 months before you hand over, you achieve this to the glory of God. That's the greatest investment you would have done here. So you have a center to retrain the teachers. You have centers to bring in students. Every day people are writing me, 99% are Yoruba schools, to bring scholars to come, and I engage them. If you do this, you create confidence. I was just telling them this morning, Chioke and Co. I said, I've selected 6 staff, brilliant kids, but they've not they've not gone outside Lagos. First week of January, I'm sending them to Dubai. I send somebody to accompany them, just take them around. Let them see those skyscrapers. Because you cannot be in my village and become a global wealth creator. It's impossible, except it's a miracle. The designs are not complicated. Now, what I'm also saying, the Igbo parents are holding to wealth, cheap wealth, that is no money. When my dad died, they wanted to share, well, I laughed. I said, I'm not interested. So that he reduced the number of time I'm coming for meeting. Because I thought I was richer than my father. The assets you are keeping today, investing in the stock market, you don't know who owned it. And that was one of the crises of Anambra. A lot of Anambra billionaires lost money in 2008 and 2009. I saw them coming to sell their assets, industries, going to invest in stock market. They don't know, they did not understand the balance sheet. And when the storm came, they all lost money. And some of them borrowed from the bank to invest. The greatest investment you have today are your kids. If you have good kids, take the risk with them. I'm taking a risk with my son in Conga. And I told Chioke yesterday, since I bought Conga, I've been losing from 320 million a month. Last month, I lost 251 million, so it's going down. Now, it's a suicide. If he succeeds, right now, if he says Conga, he's richer than me, and he's 27 years old. He trades on Sunday. When we were coming yesterday, we saw 3 of his vehicles. Okay, between Onitsha and Oka, and I called. I said, hey, what are your vehicles doing here? Because they are doing Black Friday. So while you are in the church, he's trading online, real time. That's the power of 21st century knowledge. Okay, so let me not waste your time. Let me hand over to the young man. I just thought I should inspire you. I'm excited. That's why I can't afford to feel sick. And for our children, no person can diminish them. But you need to release those assets, turn them to cash. Your children are more intelligent than you. They are more exposed than you. So give them an opportunity and guide them. Remember, I said they have 80% global knowledge, 20% common sense. There's confusion in their age. Sometimes they think life is so easy. This is where you come in as a parent. And I'm sure in your different sessions, you will discuss this. But don't hold cheap money that is gold, because if you die today, if those kids are not empowered, they will sell those assets at 1/3 the price, so they haven't grown. And meanwhile, the houses you are keeping for them, they will not live in it. They are very uncomfortable. These kids are plastic guys. They want to live in an apartment. So you are keeping mansions for them. So I just thought I talk to you people. That's why I said it's a privilege. There's one word I left here, code. And I want you to explore it. Code. I said life has become a code. And if you can interpret it, you have defined life. I want to appreciate the governor of Anambra State for the privilege to be here. I want to appreciate the administration. But I would like to be a witness to the digital revolution. Your Excellency, it has worked in Yoruba land. And I think, Chioke said it, you can turn around in 6 months. Your teachers, you need to empower them. If I talk from now till tomorrow, they are not empowered. You can't move the state. You are producing analog graduates that we don't need in the labor market. And these are people who turn to become criminals, and you are spending a lot of money on security. I like your security setup. If I made an input, I would have added to digital security, cloud. If I have a camera here, you pick every person one by one. Fine. But you've done very well. I was excited the last time I came to Anambra. If you can provide them laptops. The last time I came to Anambra, the Honorable Commissioner organized a summit for teachers. And Your Excellency, that's the second reason why I came. When I came out of my car, I listened to a woman speaking technology. I thought she was a baby, a young man. When I entered the hall, I think you're my witness, and your minister, one of your commissioners was there. It was unbelievable. I witnessed her, I gave her a brand new laptop. So there's a movement. You are committed. The hall was full. I was coming from Akwa Ibom, where the governor sat from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. I was touched. And he did this for 2 days. And it was the first educational summit. So you can turn around because you have men and women, but you need to bring your rich people to a dinner table. Bring people like Professor Soludo, he knows everybody. Talk to them. You need to sow a seed, because if you don't do it today, you are preparing for disaster. And I'm not talking what I'm not doing. I'm sponsoring 5,400 students, Jambites, because it's son of a deaf and dumb woman who was impregnated as a young person. Couldn't get admission. And he made 4 A1s, but his JAMB always average. And when I asked him, are you sure you made this result? He said, I made it, but I've never seen a computer. Meanwhile, your children are meant to take JAMB exams with computers, and they have not seen it. How can they pass? So I called him a state commissioner for technology. I signed a deal with them. I released the money. So they are training 5,400, and I have the data of every person. I paid the students to go for the training. I paid the people who are training them. And the last week, the week of JAMB, all of them will go for the refresher course. And you need to see, it's like a change in their life. You need to power the state. I told you we raised 5 billion in less than 1 hour. There was no champagne, nothing. You have a lot of rich people. They have to come and sow seed, not on building skyscrapers. They have to sow the seed to bring out the children of the poor, who are the greatest wealth creators, who want to disrupt, because that's where I come. Even though my father used to criticize me that he wasn't very poor, which was true. There is what you call digital lifestyle. It's an entertainment. You know, if I brought my equipment here, this place would change. I'm not a musician. But when I go for functions, they are not done properly. So I have the best entertainment equipment. I designed them out of fun. Now, Your Excellency, if you produce 2 musicians, yes. If you produce 2 musicians, do you know how much you will pay them? You pay them 5 million. I'm sure you are paid before. Maybe you're arguing with their SAs. How can this man charge this amount? But that's true. He comes in here for 20 minutes, he jump up and down, 5 million is gone, he's just going to another function. Now, I'll tell Roman Catholics, I'm a Roman Catholic, I will never leave it. If you don't create people who will pay tithe tomorrow by empowering them, the churches will be empty. What I mean, technically empty. I'm a Catholic, I'll talk to them. Pentecostals are creating people who will donate, not only paying tithe in 21st century. So, His Grace, I'm sure you're also listening to me. I want you to take something out of here. Okay? So this is the century we are. It's not a century of emotion. Your child, your village is not interested because he has no friend in your village. So you need to empower them. I want to plead with Anambra. You have everything. I know the man. The best IT journalist, Ken Wobo, is an Anambra guy. Your Excellency, I don't have all the time, but I watched one of the bridges. I didn't believe you built it, but Chioke confirmed to me that bridge you built. Infrastructure, important, but beyond infrastructure is knowledge. The cost of building that bridge, which you used in saving a whole headache in the community, will create people who will delete cosmos. The money we have is a joke. One small boy, what we spent 30 years to build, they will delist us. If any of us is relevant in the next 10 years, the economy is not growing. That's where we are right now. It's a reality. It's either you belong or you're out. Logistics. Those cars I saw yesterday, if I had my other laptop, I know where they are. We are watching them nationwide. Storage facility. You need to build people who build applications to manage inventory, robotics, artificial intelligence. I lost money 3 years ago, I nearly died. You know, they are talking about stem cell today. I'm an investor in stem cell. If it works, I survive. If it doesn't work, maybe I dig my burial ground. My grandfather did his own 43 years before he died. Now, if that research worked, if that research worked, maybe I'll become one of the richest, not in Africa. But it failed, and I lost $28 million. And then they devalued the currency. So it was, I lost half my weight. Every person who saw me said, Stan, are you okay? I said, I'm exercising. And the only way they knew was the day the Google CEO came. And we had to interact because his former vice president was involved in that project, and I was the smallest person. Now, I'm sure you understand what stem cell is all about. Hello? You understand what stem cell is all about? Today, 20 years ago, people of our age, they say they are very old, isn't it? Now, a lot of us here, if you live well, will live above 100 years. I'm sure if I ask you to pay to live another 20 years, you pay me. That's what life is all about. So the pastors will do their job, but the system will do the cleansing. So I really want to appreciate you that if you had a mind to do this, Mr. Governor, Your Excellency, you're almost there. Sow a seed in your educational system. Close your eyes. This is what I preach everywhere. Sow a seed in the educational system. Close your eyes and give them 5 billion. But put a system to monitor it. You will see a huge revolution, and set up what I call a finishing school attached to it. The Igbos miss one thing. There's a difference between us and some Yorubas who went to private schools from nursery and all the rest of it. That we didn't go does not stop us from learning at old age. A finishing school helps you to communicate professionally. Okay? If you want to grow in the global market, you have to behave like people who are over there. There's no difference between a Nigerian and an American. But it's the way you carry yourself. There's a way a woman should sit. There's a way a man should dress. There are color combinations. There's a kind of perfume you need to use. There's a way to handle cutleries. Money is not everything. This is a block that every entrepreneur should face. I had a dinner with the president of Philips. He came to my house 4 weeks ago. I hosted him. One of the guys, his dealers who came, was from Onitsha here. And the way he was handling cutlery, I was technically ashamed. He had the fork on the right hand and the knife on the left hand. Now, going to disrupt him would bring attention, so I kept quiet, but I didn't eat my own food. So in this chase to wealth, it should be 360 degrees because money is a ride. And when you have your passion, you should define it. That's why I said life is a code. It does not stop in money. It has to do with education. It has to do with knowledge. It has to do with wealth. And don't do it with government because government will never have enough money. Bring private investors, let them sow a seed. You have a lot of professionals from this state who can manage such resources. And then investors will recoup. If you invite me and you tell me today you are setting up a finishing school with a digital lab, I will invest. But no politician will donate a candidate. Those candidates must be qualified because the end product is critical. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Another round of applause for the great man,